Hey, and welcome back. It's Table Talk Tuesday on Liquid Lunch. We're at the downtown NEWSMAX studios today, and we're coming to you live as we do every day, noon to 2 Eastern. Right down the street, maybe like a 7-iron for me, is the New York Stock Exchange. And at the New York Stock Exchange, we are just bumping up against that 27,000 number that I've been talking to you for a while about. I think any extended stay above 27,000, maybe a week, a 27,000 close on a Friday, through the weekend, some good geopolitical news coming out of China on the trade front, and this market could be poised for a nice rocket shot to the upside. Don't take any advice from me. That's just some commentary for you. Bitcoin up $2 at 8,200 and change. As I mentioned late last week, under 8,000. I thought there was a buying opportunity. I personally went in, picked up a little more Bitcoin. I'm up a few $100, but no great shakes. Above 8,000 is a good stabilization area. They're building a new support level at 8,000. And, you know, any bad news on the gold front or on the U.S. dollar front, Bitcoin could get another bump. So we always get a good bump on this show when we bring in Marine veteran, Republican strategist, and my good friend Bill Cortese to join us. And we're kicking off hour 2 with a kick-ass leadoff man. Cool. Bill Cortese joins us today. Billy, I know you were on a whirlwind tour. You were upstate. You were in Connecticut. You were everywhere, all around. Saw some pictures on social media with you and the great General Mattis. Thank you for coming back to town for us.
Good to be home.
But you're an insider. You're down in Washington. You're dealing with all these people. You're dealing with all different kinds of businesses. Talk to me about these Q3 fundraising numbers. They just came out.
Well, what's interesting is, you know, at the end of Q3, Bernie is sitting on a mountain of cash. He's sitting on about $33 million. Elizabeth Warren has about 25 in the bank, and Pete Buttigieg is sitting on about 23. The big story here out of Q3, though, I think, is Joe Biden. He spent over $17 million and is only sitting on about $9 million cash on hand now. That is not a good sign for the supposed front runner to only have $9 million in the bank when other people have, you know, $25, $30 million right now heading into the last quarter. And remember, the Iowa caucuses, New Hampshire primaries are right around the corner.
I'm saying we're only a few months out. Let me ask you this seriously. I've been doing this on the show for the last couple of months. Joe Biden is supposed to be the front runner. Nothing about what he's doing is running. To me, he's limping into this race. A month ago, he couldn't remember what state he was in. Right? He thought he was in Vermont. He thought he was in New Hampshire. Then he went on CNN and his eyeballs were bleeding. His eye was all red. He didn't even know what was happening. Then he went in the debate. He was talking. His dentures came flying out of his mouth. Yeah, catch him and put him back in. Does this probably contribute to him going down in effect? People are looking at him like he's a broken down valise. He lost his fastball.
Yeah, he looks like an actor almost just, you know, forgets his lines over and over again. He's not throwing. He's not throwing in the 90s anymore. That's for sure.
He's what's his name? What's the guy? Charlie Huff, who threw the knuckleball. Right. That's all. He's got to go to a knuckleball now. I mean, it's maybe a little late for the knuckler.
And you know who's getting worried? Wall Street's getting worried, right? Democrats on Wall Street that have been banking on Joe being kind of the safe bet, the safe alternative to Trump, they're getting worried because now they're seeing an Elizabeth Warren creep up more and more. They're scared. People are scared. Democrats are scared.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Warren was the big advocate of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is basically the anti-business bureau. And if she comes back in, she's already said, I'm breaking up Google, I'm breaking up this one, I'm knocking out the banks. I'm taxing you on money that you've already paid tax on. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
She can't find enough things to tax. And again, I think she's worrying Democrats right now because they know she is someone who's out of step, out of the mainstream, and could really hand this election to Trump.
Has she decided yet if she's Pocahontas or if she's not Pocahontas? Is she Indian again, or is she Native American again, or not Native American?
Well, what's interesting is that she pulled down kind of a bio piece, a YouTube piece that was on her website about her Native American, or alleged Native American roots, and she pulled it down. People grabbed it before it came down, so it's still out there. People can see it. But there are just so many inconsistencies with her story. She says one thing in a book, one thing at a rally, one thing in a campaign. And I think that's something that the Trump campaign would exploit if she were to be the nominee.
Yeah, I want to take a look at those. Can I see those numbers again? Can I see that full screen with the top 5 Democrat numbers, please? Rose, do we have that? I want to take a look, Bill, and ask you a couple of things here. Okay, there we go. So Sanders, talk about Joe Biden limping around. Bernie Sanders almost had a stroke on stage a couple of weeks ago. He couldn't even stand up for his town hall. But did he get a boost because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came out and said she was behind him?
It certainly helps, and as if he, you know, I don't know if AOC is bringing in voters that he didn't already have, but certainly it shores up that side, and any bleeding that he may have towards that people that were looking at Elizabeth Warren, they're probably staying with Bernie Sanders now, which could prolong this primary. The Democrats moved around the calendar to try to shorten the primary to get behind somebody early. This could prolong this for a long time, and they could be in that fight, something that they've been trying to avoid, and because they know when you look at the numbers, Trump and the RNC are sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's only going up.
And if you look at this graphic here, I mean, Biden's on top of one person, Kamala Harris.
And
you
this
know
is
what I'm saying? And
right.
And this in the past, that's been reserved for mayors in California to be on top of Kamala. But $15 million, she's at 11. Pete Buttigieg, military veteran, God bless him, went out there, fought with you and your boys and protected our freedoms and liberties. But he's a homosexual mayor from small town Indiana. For him to be out raising Biden, they got to be scared.
No, people are concerned, and the alarm bells are ringing, I think, amongst the Democratic establishment that if it's not Joe Biden, who is it? Is it Buttigieg? Who is it going to be? And I don't think they're comfortable with Warren. They're certainly not comfortable with Sanders. And so this is where you start to see the horse race come, where maybe people that were hanging out, maybe a Kamala Harris can start to pick up some votes that are bouncing off from Biden.
What about Hillary? Because Hillary seems to be, you know, it's like an episode of Tales from the Crypt. All of a sudden, the lid comes up and boom, Hillary pops up again, and she's taking aim at Tulsi Gabbard, woman of color, decorated military veteran, serving our country in Congress. Hillary's attacking like someone at 2% in the polls. Is she seeing a vulnerability here, you think?
And let's just say, she's not just attacking her. She's claiming that she is an agent of Russia. How bizarre, how crazy. You know, they talk about Republicans and conspiracy theories. I mean, this is insane that this is your major party candidate 4 years ago making claims like this. It's just obscene, but I think it's a view into what the establishment is right now.
On your side, I want to ask you a question about our senator from Utah. I believe, what are we calling him these days? Pierre Delecto. Mitt Romney has a fake Twitter account under the name Pierre Delecto. And I have a feeling he's friends with another fake account that Anthony Weiner had that was Carlos Danger. I wonder if Carlos Danger and Pierre Delecto go out together. And
we should check to see if they're following each other.
Yeah, we should see if Carlos, somebody check that for me. Is Carlos Danger following Pierre Delecto? And by the way, Pierre Delecto, translated in English, is pure delight, which is strange for a man, if I might say. But take a look at this clip of Anthony Scaramucci. It's a short clip. I want you to see, because this guy's lost his marbles too, Scaramucci. I've been friends with him for years, but I don't know what's happening.
He may be the elder statesman in the party that'll have to take the mantle of leadership and rebuild this party from the ruins of what Mr. Trump has perpetrated on the party.
Scaramucci calling out Romney to get in the presidential. What's the matter with this guy?
He's just so bizarre, so over the top, so all over the place. I mean, he has no credibility left is the problem, right? Yeah, you were anti-Trump, then you were pro-Trump, then you worked for Trump for 10 days, 7 days. I mean, Britney Spears had longer marriages than Scaramucci was comms director.
You ain't kidding, Billy boy.
Right? I mean, it's kind of crazy. And now he wants Mitt Romney to run. He's so bizarre. Anthony, I guess, is trying to find himself still.
Yeah.
And so,
you know what? I've been friends with Anthony for years. Wonderful business guy. I think, you know, most people look for that 15 minutes of fame. He had his 10 days of fame, and he blew himself up. He should kind of go back to doing what he did best. Run Skybridge, make millions and millions, and be a cool TV commentator. And his wife is still welcome on the show. But Anthony, he canceled on us like 3 times. So no more liquid lunch for you, Anthony. But we're going to have a Pierre Delecto segment right after this. But Mitt Romney won't be here. We're going to take a quick break. Liquid Lunch back at you in 2.